right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Another chill in the air tonight. Why these wild temperature swings continue into the weekend.
Rallying for the coach.
Our prayers are working. We're going to continue to pray and stay positive.
Tonight, the champions champion for their coach sidelined by a medical emergency during the state tournament. Our top story, a 2-year-old boy shot after getting hold of a gun.
Children don't understand, what the guns are capable of.
The charges police are now seeking against a St. Louis sheriff's deputy. Tonight, that toddler is recovering after the accidental shooting this weekend in Ferguson. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. Investigators say the deputy is claiming responsibility and is now facing a criminal charge. Brent Solomon is live outside the sheriff's office with what the sheriff is saying tonight. Brent.
Well, Mike, the sheriff says that deputies here go through training so that situations like this don't happen. More from him in a minute, but first, I caught up with the officer who responded to the scene as soon as the call came in that a 2-year-old boy shot himself in the stomach. It was just before 6 Saturday evening here at the Knowles Townhomes off Pershaw Road and 270.
You committed this act and you have to be accountable for it.
Ferguson Police Detective Sammy Newman was there when the call came in. He responded, arriving at the St. Louis Sheriff's deputy's home. A 2-year-old relative was visiting the deputy when the little boy picked up the man's service gun and shot himself.
Children don't understand, what the guns are capable of, right? And when they have it within reach, they're often curious. They go on to play with it. They want to go touch it. Unload your guns up. Invest in some gun locks.
That's probably especially important if a child is visiting your home.
100%.
We reached out to Sheriff Vernon Betts, a spokesperson, sending us a statement saying, quote, "First, our prayers are with the family of this young man who was tragically injured. We are praying for his complete recovery. This tragic accident is exactly why I mandate weapon safety training and safe storage, including gun locks." Police are seeking a misdemeanor charge of endangering the welfare of a child against that deputy. Newman says just because he's in law enforcement doesn't mean he's above the law.
I will hold you to a higher standards because you've been through the training. You know the danger that is associated with guns. If you're law enforcement or you're a regular civilian, right? For every action, there is a reaction and consequences, right?
An update now. I'm told that little boy was released from the hospital and is recovering nicely. Meantime, I asked the sheriff here if that deputy will be suspended as a result of this. We're waiting to get that answer. Live in St. Louis tonight, Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
Developing tonight, a teenager is dead and the major case squad is now investigating. Police say the 15-year-old boy was shot this afternoon near Purdue and Bradford Avenues in Pagedale. That's in North St. Louis County. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend is live tonight outside the Pagedale Police Department with the latest on this.
Kelly, spent 9 hours and police have not told us any new information about the case. Meantime, neighbors and St. Louis County's prosecutor have a lot to say about this latest shooting that claimed a teen's life. In mid-afternoon, it was an upsetting sight to see for parents in this Pagedale neighborhood. Just feet away from a park and a playground, a 15-year-old boy found shot to death in an alley.
It's heartbreaking that you have to come home to some stuff like this, that your neighborhood is blocked off from someone getting killed.
Neighbors say shortly after 1 Wednesday, they heard gunfire. Police went to the 1600 block of Purdue Avenue and saw the teenager had been shot in his chest.
My son said he heard about seven shots.
Investigators put down more than a half dozen yellow evidence markers and also found the young victim's shoe in the street.
But it's just sad. It's happening too often. You can't even send my kids want to come out and play, but you can't even send them outside to play because of all the violence going on here.
We have to do something about this type of violence.
St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell went to the scene to learn what he could about the shooting.
What we're seeing is that this type of violence is happening with younger and younger victims and assailants, for that matter. And obviously there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed.
Many family members of the young victim also showed up looking for answers. About 6 hours after the deadly shooting, detectives returned to the neighborhood.
When is this going to end?
19 investigators are right now working on this case. If you know anything about it, call Crime Stoppers or the Paigedale Police Department. We're live in Paigedale. I'm Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
A 15-year-old is now charged in the stabbing death of a Jennings junior high school student during an after-school fight. He was arrested last night in Jefferson City for second-degree murder in the death of 14-year-old Justin Brooks. The arrest came as Brooks's family and the community gathered for a vigil. We talked with a criminal justice attorney who explained what goes into a judge's decision of whether the case will stay in a juvenile court or move to adult court.
Maybe a battering of someone may not get certified over, but a murder of someone probably will get certified. Okay, I'm not a prognosticator of what the judge is going to do, but they look at the nature of a crime, they look at what other aspects to it. If that judge is kind of standard, that child will get certified as an adult and let the adult system deal with it.
If convicted as a juvenile, the suspect could be facing juvenile detention until he's 18 years old. In some cases, the court can extend that to the age of 21. Turning now to our weather first forecast. A cold night across St. Louis on this first official day of spring. Official day.
It does not feel like it. That's because temperatures could drop below freezing overnight. You probably need your heat on. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell's here with what you can expect in the morning, Scotty.
Yeah, you know, temperatures will be down into the 20s for some of us tomorrow morning, especially north and east of St. Louis. But right now, we're still settling back through the 40s in a lot of places around the immediate metro area. And you're looking at temperatures in the 30s as you go into some of the outlying areas, and especially going farther north and east. Right now, 39 in Alton, Greenville, and Effingham, 35 over in Litchfield at this hour. Skies remain mostly clear here. The showers have been down to our south. Bottom line here is, as we work our way through the overnight hours, a few clouds will start to roll in. That should limit the amount of cooling overall. And really, the coolest of air that started filtering in last night has struggled to get farther to the southwest of St. Louis. So some folks may not get much below 35 to 40 southwest of St. Louis. We think we'll be in the upper 30s in the metro area, and then going north and northeast, that's your best chance for those chilly temperatures below freezing. There's a rain chance on Friday. It's a pretty measly one. And that rain is likely early next week. We'll track that out for you coming up in a few minutes, Kelly.
All right, see you then, Scott. Tonight, police in the Metro East are searching for the people responsible for a home invasion and shooting. Happened early this morning on Cathy Drive in Pontoon Beach. A 27-year-old man shot several times. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Anyone with information should call police. In St. Louis, police have identified the woman killed in a hit-and-run crash in Soulard. 43-year-old Cynthia Curtis was hit by a car in the intersection of Russell and Gravois around 1:30 Sunday morning. Police are still looking for the driver. If you know anything about the crash, call Crime Stoppers. You will remain anonymous. The number is 866-371-TIPS.
A barn along with $50,000 worth of tractors was destroyed after an early morning fire in the Metro East. This happened on Hedge Road in Roxana. The owner says a greenhouse full of tomato plants near the barn also destroyed. Firefighters had a hard time getting into the battle to fight the flames.
There was kind of limited access, so we had to kind of create our own access points through what were already windows, and then just enlarging those, and then sawing through the sheet metal to get to the fire, the body of the fire.
One firefighter pulled a muscle while fighting the fire, but there were no other injuries. The cause is under investigation.
Tonight, the Incarnate Word Academy community came together to pray for their beloved basketball coach.
Dan Rolfus has been in critical condition since suffering a medical emergency Friday night in Columbia after his team advanced to the state championship game. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski was there for tonight's prayer service. Laura?
Mike and Kelly, it was an emotional night for the entire Incarnate Word community, but the good news is Coach Dan Rolfus is making small improvements, but is still fighting for his life, even as his supporters prayed tonight. Head coach Dan Rolfes has been leading Incarnate Word Academy's girls basketball team to state championships for 24 years.
Knowing him as a coach and how he coached me, I always thought he was like this crazy psycho man that was just yelling all the time. And he's trying to do way more than that. He's more than a coach. He's, a mentor.
The Red Knights are undefeated and have been since 2020, winning 131 games in a row.
Our goal is not to go undefeated. Our goal every year is just to win state.
The last one of those games was the hardest for them. Their head coach collapsed after they won their state Final Four game just hours before they'd have to come back to the court and play in the state championship.
I was just really trying to keep the girls together and keep everything under control, just not trying to freak anybody out, try to handle it as best we could.
Even though Coach Rolfes wasn't on the sideline that night, they played hard through their emotions to bring home the state championship win for themselves, but especially for him.
We all wrote as a team "Play for Rolfes" on our wrists, so we always had that reminder to look down. I know he was there with us that game. He truly got us to that point.
His son and daughter provided an update to everyone at the prayer service, saying his heart has made improvements, but he's still on a ventilator and round-the-clock dialysis at University Hospital in Columbia.
When he does wake up, he's able to respond by nodding his head or shaking no, wiggling his toes, or squeezing our hands.
He always fights for his players, and now they say it's their turn to fight for him through prayers.
Our prayers are working. We're going to continue to pray and stay positive, and he's a fighter, so we know that he's going to fight his way out of this just like he would anything else. He's too competitive not to.
The coach's family says they hope they'll be able to get him off the ventilator soon so that he can continue to recover more comfortably.